everyone. We are back today with a very intensive subject. I would say this is an area that most people do not talk about, particularly because of the nature of the issue, particularly issues to do with illness, death. Those are issues we don't normally talk about, but the truth is, all of us face the reality of death at some point. But let's start somewhere. The issue of getting a person very, very ill. We have all at one point or another had someone who is ill, either in the family or in the neighborhood. But more so, I would like us to look at this issue regarding a family, where we have a family member who is very ill. What happens when a person is very ill? What are we supposed to do? Probably it's more important to think about the care we need to give to someone who is very ill. Sometimes it may even dawn on us that this person is not going to live for too long. And that is probably the last thing any of us want to imagine. But that is the reality, that all of us will be faced with a time that we are very, very unwell. And probably the worst is to imagine that that person may leave us at some point. So let's talk about the relative who could be very ill, and we are the ones taking care of that person. It is recommended that we get to talk to that person as often as possible if they are talking. If they are able to say something, just talk to them. Find out what they want. And if it is something you can do for them. Give them what we call psychosocial support. And psychosocial support is very important because the person needs to feel loved. Of course, when a person is very ill, they too know that they are hanging on a loose balance, or their lives could terminate at some point. So give them psychosocial support, talk to them, speak to them words of love, speak to them words of assurance. Let them know that you are there for them. If there are medics taking care of them, assuming they are in a hospital setting, let them also be assured the same, that the medics, the doctors, the nurses are doing what they need to do to make that person as comfortable as possible. And you don't have to pull the person back. Sometimes when a person is very, very ill, they may get to a point where they feel they want to give up. You don't have to hold the person. Just speak to them and use a tone that is not too loud. When a person is very, very sick, they prefer that you speak to them in a tone that is normal and that is low, that is not so loud, so that they feel the comfort, because words have comfort. But do not ever talk words of discouragement to a person who is ill. Do not either give them hope that is not there. Just speak the normal things. Ask them what they prefer done for them, probably as they get the treatment in the hospital. That is very important because the person could be waiting for such a moment where they'll be asked what they want, what they prefer, and what they would like done for them. But make sure that you do not tell them what they want done when they are gone. That doesn't sound very pleasant. It doesn't sound very encouraging and is not very kind. And of course, find out the spirituality of this person. Do they feel like they want to forgive someone? Do they feel like they are angry with someone? Would they like to speak to that person? if they got a chance? Would they like to deal with any kind of guilt that they are probably harboring? That is also very important. And this is where we say the person is helped to speak the words that they would like to survive them. So that is very important, that we help that person. If the person wants a religious person to come around, let's say in case of a Christian, a pastor, or whichever religion they are in, let them be given the opportunity to have that person around them, probably to pray for them, or maybe just to tell them something. That is also considered to be very important when people are ill. But we don't say when people are dying, because we really do not know the moment when they will die. But the truth is, people would die out of sickness, and others may not die out of sickness. We are now relating with a very ill person, very, very ill, and what we have said is assurance of the love of God first, assurance of other people and people's love and support, and that all will be well even when they are bedridden. That assurance is very important. And so I believe that we are able to deal with a very sick person. But remember something also that is very important. Do not impose your values on the person. Imposing values is forcing them to say things or forcing them to do things that they probably do not want to do, or they would not have said in their normal circumstances. So it is important that you let them express their free will without forcing them to say or to do anything. That is very, very important. If you belong to the same faith with that person, it is important that you also pray together. You could pray for them. If they are able to speak, it is extremely empowering to also pray, ask the person to pray. Let them offer a prayer that they would love said for them. So that is important. And in other words, what we are saying is that we are actually preparing the person to have peace. They may rest, as we normally say, they may rest in peace. They may not, but it is important because that will be very, very assuring. It is also important to remember, maybe you're asking right now, what about a person who is unconscious? A person who is not talking? If a person is very ill and they are unconscious in terms of they are not able to communicate, speak words of love. The same thing, speak words of love into their ears. Let them hear you speaking to them. Tell them you are caring for them, you are praying for them. That is very important, but ensure that when you tell a person that you are praying for them, pray. Do not just say it and you don't do. Speak words. Speak to the person. Don't speak in third person. Sometimes we even say by the bedside, is this person doing better or not? Like we are asking someone else. Will they recover? Are they making good progress or will they not? And what will happen now this person is here? Speak to the person. Don't speak to a third through another person. Speak to them like you are addressing them. But remember, they may not be able to answer, but they have heard. And that's why it is very important to speak words of love and words that give assurance. Having said that, and having done that, you have done your job, and you don't have to feel sorry about anything. In our next episode, we shall actually be looking at what do you do in the event that person die. What is it that we go through? What is it that we feel? So we shall be looking at that so that we are able to walk the journey with the person. for now, we can stop there and watch this space and look out for the next episode of what to do when we have people who are a bit helpless around us.